Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe and prepare to learn the 123 technique. Hey you guys, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do an everyday makeup look using drugstore makeup. Many people have suffered from some skin situation, but if you do the proper prepping and priming, then your makeup outcome will look good. I'm just using Cetaphil skin moisturizer to hydrate her skin. This will help the foundation move properly throughout her skin. Next, I'll be using a beauty elixir. I'll put that in the description box. It's good for dullness, dry skin, and enlarging pores. It's good for all skin types, so it will help with the texture of her skin. Now for the eyebrows, everybody knows, if you watch my previous videos, I like to use Embark by Nye Cosmetics Eyeshadow to fill it in. Next, I'll be using a lighter concealer to sculpt the eyebrows. I'm using a Nye Cosmetics 242 brush to sculpt the eyebrows. Next, I'm using Nye Cosmetics Match Master 8.0 to sculpt the top of the eyebrows. I try to use a concealer that's almost lighter than her skin tone, but not too light. It's many ways to sculpt your eyebrows to perfection. You just gotta do whatever is best for you. Next, I'll be using Carb by Black Opal foundation stick to conceal the concealer. I also use as foundation as an eyelid base for the eyeshadow. The same way you use the concealer to sculpt the eyebrow, you could also use the foundation to sculpt the eyebrows. The object of the game is to get as close as possible to the hairline of your eyebrows. Try your best to cover as much as concealer as possible. The same way you do the bottom concealer, the same way you do the top concealer. Try your best to get as close as possible to the concealer to conceal it. Don't forget to go back and fade the inner brows and use the brush to make it look as natural as possible. Now I'm just using a brush to blend out all the concealer or foundation around the eyebrows and the eyelid. Next is the 123 eyeshadow. This is just a CoverGirl eyeshadow nude palette I picked up from Walgreens. Now I'm going to use this beige color in the crease. So I'm going to add my Clown White as my eyeshadow base. I love Clown White because it helps the color to pop and last long. So with the eyeshadow, you go from the crease all the way to the tail and you make a little triangular motion at the tail. For the tail, I'll be using a dark brown color. I'm just using something very light. I'm not placing a lot of darkness on the tail. Next, I'm adding that peaches gold color on the lid. All you want to do is just pack the color on, then after you pack it on, you will take your crease brush to blend in the lid with the crease with the tail. For her eyeliner, I'll be using Amuse Cosmetic Liquid Jet Black Eyeliner. It's waterproof, it's easy to work with, and I love the way it glides on the skin. For her eyelashes, I'll be using La Charmer Wispy Lash as her first eyelash base. Then I will double it with another La Charma Wispy. I always use a tweezer when applying eyelashes because I want to make sure that they're nice and tight and secure. I keep on smashing them together. I'm using Sassi Adhesive Eyelash Glue. It looks like bonder glue, but it's not. I will list that in the description box. Now I'll be using Milk of Magnesia. Yes, Milk of Magnesia can also be used for dark skinned girls or whoever got oily skin. It will give her that extra pop and also secure her foundation in place. Now I'll be using Black Opal Stick Foundation in the shade Nutmeg for the center of her face. Then I'll mix Carb on the outer area of her face. The way I do my foundation is the way I mimic the skin. Black Opal Stick Foundation is very thick. It gives you a nice coverage. This technique won't work on everybody, but for those that it works on, it gives you a beautiful finish. If you have like an acne scar or acne skin, this foundation is very good when it comes to coverage. Black Opal Stick Foundation is buildable, so use as needed. Next, to highlight and contour, I'll be using LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. I love this concealer. It's affordable, doable, and blendable, and it provides the proper coverage that's needed. This is my favorite stippling foundation brush. I will list all of my brushes in the description box. A lot of people like to use Beauty Blender. I sometimes use the Beauty Blender or I use this brush. To me, this blush will get the job done quick, just like the Beauty Blender. I use that same brush to contour too. Now I'm using the Maybelline 380 Fit Me to help me contour her. This is a smaller version of my stippling brush that I use to contour with. I will list that in my description box also. Many people may think this shade is too dark, but it's not too dark. As long as you know how to blend it down, you'll be fine. Now the same brush I use for her concealer is the same brush I'll be using to help me blend down her contour. That's the same brush I use for the foundation. That stippling brush is everything. Just trust the process. And my little concealer trick, if that nose disappears, run a little concealer down the bridge of that nose to bring it back out. So I decided to add a little bit more concealer underneath the eyebrows and also on the bridge of the nose to narrow it some more. The more concealer you add towards the nose will give it the more illusion that your nose is narrow or skinny or pinched. But you must play a role in having the concealer and the contour somewhat visible. Not too visible, but the shading of it. With this stippling foundation brush, I like to pat the area that I was focused on the most, the highlight and the contour. When I pat, it helps me blend away any fine lines or lines of demarcation. Now I'll be using Nye Cosmetics to set her face or set the highlighting area. I love this natural set. It look kind of white, but trust me, it will blend into the skin. Next, I'll be using Nye Cosmetics Skin Finisher in the shade Dark to set her overall face. I also add the dark powder on top of the translucent powder. For me, I always do it. Next, I'll be using Deep Dark Mineralized Skin Finisher by Nye Cosmetics, and I will only apply it on the outer rim of her face. Next, I'll be using Nye Cosmetics Chestnut Pencil to line up her lips. Next, I'll be using Nye Cosmetics Banana Powder to bake her, just to give her an extra pop. For the blush, I'm using a mixture of shades in the Juvia palette. I'll list the colors in the description box. I apply my blush in circular motions. For the lipstick, I'm using Nye Cosmetics HoneyLove. Next, I'll be adding L'Oreal lip gloss called Duchess to the lipstick. Like, I feel like if you're dealing with any pink or nude color when it comes to blending the lips in, it's super much easier to just place the color, then take your brush and whatever else product you're going to put on top of it, then blend it together. The only color I feel like you need to be precise and focused when it comes to outlining it are color lips. She has a little scar on the bottom of her lip because she bit it when she was 5 years old, so don't be alarmed. Now it's time to dust off all of that baking powder. When working with a darker skin tone with that banana powder, I always try my best to blend as much of that baking powder off. If not, if you take a picture, you might get a flashback. For the waterline, I'm using a black pencil. I'm using MAC Feline. You can use any drugstore black eyeliner pencil. Now I'm using this brown color at the bottom of a waterline to smudge it. I use a cardboard to catch any fallout from the shadow so it won't fall onto the skin. Next, I use a mascara to pull out the bottom of her lashes and also the top of her lashes. I still use a cardboard to catch any driplets of that mascara that might hit her skin. Next, I'm using MAC Cosmetics Gold Deposit for her bronzer. I'm just using something light, nothing too heavy. Now I'm just using a little shimmer underneath the eyebrows to give it a little highlight and also help blend whatever fine line underneath the eyebrow bone. Last, I'm using Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray, but you can use any drugstore setting spray. LA Girl has a good setting spray that you can use. After mixing the spray, I like to use the brush to pat the product in. And here you guys have it, but I think she need an extra pop, so I'm going to add a loose NYX Pearl White pigment in the inner corner of her eyes to give her an extra pop. And here you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. And please comment and let me know what other tutorial you'd like to see. I am back on track. More videos I comment. I promise this season will be the reason.